Show 'em what you mean by boom. Yeah.
I always played an instrument. I always played like bass. My mom always bought me whatever instrument. You know what I mean? Not to say I wasn't really spoiled. You know what I mean? My mom worked her ass off to just make sure I had different shit. You know what I mean? So I learned drums. I learned how to play bass a little bit. I plucked around a little bit on the guitar. I had the theory of counting music, 8s and 16s, and all that. I had the theory even before I really got into DJing and all whatever, just from playing drums and shit. I always had loved the sound of scratching, but I never really understood the theory or really what it was. I never really understood what it meant to hip hop about bringing a beat back and forth and keeping just a 4-bar instrumental of some R&B record going long enough, juggling in between to make something that somebody could rap. Like hip hop is incredible. Back in my day, it was it was a big, huge console with a turntable in it, and it had that thing to go on top for your 45s or whatever, and then it was a big knob, and then it'd be a radio tuner. It'd be a big knob for the radio tuner, big knob for the volume, and a turntable on the top of it. And I used to get it off that. And I could cut more off one of those, better than like these DJs nowadays, because all they do is push buttons with their laptop and maybe it. Like you know what I mean? The ironic thing is that they'll get paid thousands of dollars to have a pre-recorded set and act like they're DJing, and this shit is so big, and they'll touch buttons and do shit that they ain't even doing nothing, just for the look of doing something. Like back then, if you couldn't really scratch and mix and do it all, you weren't a DJ. When, like us, we come from where it's real records, where you had to, ain't nothing editing you. There is no going back. There is no pre-recorded track or any click, anything. Anything you mess up, and everybody gonna hear. Even though technology has took us so far to even when we do stuff like this, to the point what I really wanted, which I always wanted to state in this documentary, is that, we write, and my whole life, we wrote like this, straight off paper. Was no cell phone apps. Was no cell phone. Was no nothing, no beeper, no internet, no anything. But I didn't like it because I'm used to Sober Them Soldiers, this pro-black gangster thing. My homies, you know what I mean? Now I'm in a 12-piece band with all white people, and I'm the only black person. So we going everywhere, and it's a whole different culture shock. These, motherfuckers farting in the van, and laughing. And, we did Roseland on the New Year's one time, but we would just always go to Crystal Bar. They would just pay more. But, and it'd be sold out. And we'd sell our shit everywhere we went. 5 minutes of fun. We were getting 10,000 a night. I don't know any Portland rappers or anything that can say that. And it's funny because I remember when there was no producer. I remember when, I knew every rapper and DJ in the fucking town. We're the whitest town, so we're never gonna get no props. You know what I mean? That's why a lot of the biggest concerts go right over us to Seattle. We in this Pacific Northwest, we have the best of it all. We got the best food, all the fashion, motherfuckers is high tech, the best seafood. You know what I mean? Go, man, I swear to God, go tour and go to the Midwest and go see what their steaks look like at a store. You know what I'm saying? Go drink some water down in California. But I will say to all y'all Portland rappers and everybody, stay here, live here, but do what I'm about to do and go get on the road and go make your shit pop in the Midwest and the South. Because this ain't where you're going to blow from. Macklemore did it because Seattle's popping, but you're not going to pop. Chill Illest, man. Talking words, look for the album. Look for Illest Kruger, look for Illest and the Boss. 503, fuck with anything and everything moving out of the city. 206, Northwest, all of us, man, West Coast. And there it is, man. Yeah, man, you know, it's all been talking about me and all my life, whatever, but you know what? This man right here has inspired me, even though I inspired him, he inspires me. Watch how a real DJ really does it. You know, I produce and do whatever, but you know, watch. You know what? No further ado, ladies and gentlemen, from the 503, my homie, watch DJ Wicked one time.
Now you wanna fuck with me? You must be crazy.